What's up guys, my name is Ace, and Season 5 of Black Ops 6 is coming next week on August 7th, and today we got the roadmap and blog post explaining all of the content that we can expect to see, and in today's video, we're going to be breaking down all of that content for multiplayer at least. And let's just dive right into this with the maps. And the first one is a brand new map we're going to be getting at launch. This one's called Runway. And it takes place in an airport. We can see the overhead map view as well. It's a clear 3-lane map design here. Looks like a more traditional 3-lane design. They do describe it as a medium-sized map. And so far, based on the little bit that we can see here, I'm actually liking the looks of this map as well as the overall layout. But of course, we really need to get our hands on it to see how it ends up playing out. I am quite optimistic about this one though. Then another 6v6 map we're getting right at launch is WMD, which is of course a remade map that has been remade, I think, multiple times at this point over the years. We first saw it in Black Ops 1 though. And as we can see, this is more of a reimagining rather than a remaster because it's not snowy, it's got a totally different vibe and feel to it, but it is clearly the structure and layout from the original WMD. Honestly, I'm a little bit disappointed we don't have more snowy maps in this game. I feel like we've got enough maps that have that sort of Avalon feel, and this is no exception. This is also on Avalon, and we actually were able to find this in the past when doing our flyovers on Avalon. So I'm not overly surprised that we're seeing this, just slightly disappointed in the lack of scenery variety that we've got. I do like WMD though, and I think it'll play just fine in Black Ops 6. And unfortunately, that's it as far as the 6v6 maps we'll see right at launch with the season. However, we're also getting a strike map called Exchange, and this one is also coming at the launch of the season, and as expected, just a really small map made for face-off. And aside from that, unfortunately, there's only one other map that they've outlined here that we're getting throughout the season. This one will be coming mid-season, and this is Jackpot, which is a reimagining of the casino map that we saw in Black Ops 4. So as we can see by these images, it's very clearly inspired by the casino map, and the general layout and structure looks to be essentially identical, but they were clear to point out they've extensively reworked the map with new layout sections and artistic direction. So it's not the exact map remastered, but it's going to be very similar to Casino. And once again, this is an area that you can find on the Avalon map, and it does take place on Avalon. And that's it. Throughout the entire season, we're only getting 3 6v6 maps, and only one of those 3 is like a full-on brand new map. And only one face-off map as well, so pretty disappointing quantity of maps for this season. Next up, let's get into game modes, and the first one we're going to be seeing at launch is called Aim High, and this one's going to take place on TDM, Domination, Hardpoint, and Kill Confirmed, so it'll be a mosh pit. However, the twist here is headshots will be insta-kills, whereas you have full body armor that minimizes damage dealt anywhere below the neck. So from the sounds of it, a significantly slower time to kill to the body compared to regular game modes, but a literal instant kill for a headshot, which is going to make grinding headshots extremely easy for anybody that hasn't done that already in this game. Then after that, in season, we're going to be seeing snipers only, which tends to be quite a popular mode whenever it's added as a limited time mode in Call of Duty, so no surprises here. Glad to see that one come back for the people that are into that. Then we've also got Cranked Mosh Pit coming, so when you get a kill, you get a bunch of multipliers to your movement speeds and your reload time and all that kind of stuff. However, there's also a timer that starts at that point, and if you don't get a kill to refresh that timer, you will blow up, so it really forces you to be on the move. We're first going to be seeing a mosh pit of multiple modes for that, and then they're also going to be adding Cranked Demolition later on in the season. Now, in addition to that, Ransack is going to be coming back, and we have seen that mode in this game before, as well as Blueprint Gunfight. That will also be returning later on in the season. Next, let's talk about the Scorestreak that's coming, apparently mid-season and at launch. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. I think there's some confusion here, so I don't know exactly when during the season we're actually getting this, but this is yet another returning handheld streak, just like we've been getting, I think, every single season. It's always a returning streak from a previous Black Ops game that is handheld. And with this, it requires 500 score to earn, and it has explosive tipped arrows that explode on impact, dealing incendiary damage to all enemies caught in its trajectory and leaving a trail of fire in its wake. So a little different from the combat bow we've seen in the past. Presumably, like the other handheld streaks in the game, like the hand cannon for instance, this will likely also contribute toward your bloodthirsty metals or nuke streaks even. And with that out of the way, let's get into the weapons that we're going to be seeing for the season. And the first one, which is coming at launch in the Battle Pass, is the PML 556 LMG. This is based on the M249 SAW, but they're not calling it a Bruin this time around. And with this, it's got a 100 round magazine capacity and is described as a fast fire rate full auto with high lethality offset by low mobility and hefty recoil. And I'm happy to see another LMG added to the game instead of just another SMG or assault rifle. However, this brings us into the other gun we're getting in the Battle Pass at the launch of the season, which is another assault rifle. And this one is the AUG, but they're calling it the ABR-A1. And it looks like they're going the burst route with this. It will be a 3-round burst assault rifle with good handling and power, as well as moderate recoil and range. They also mentioned it will be configurable to full auto, so I wonder if that's immediately coming with like a weapon mod conversion, or if we'll just be able to toggle it into full auto rather than semi-auto. But those are the 2 weapons we're getting at launch with the season. Then for a melee weapon that's coming in season, so not at launch, we've got boxing gloves coming. And these are described as moderate damage with fast attack speed and a long range, which is interesting, especially the long range part, relative to other melee weapons in the game, but this will be a 2-hit kill melee weapon with a fast attack speed. And then the only other weapon that they laid out here that we're getting throughout the season is coming mid-season, and this is the Gravemark 357 revolver. So finally a revolver in the game. It took quite a few seasons to get there, but we've got one, and this is actually a single action revolver with high power, considerable range, but it's limited by lower ammo count and a segmented reload. I hope this will be that high damage type of pistol that will have a one-shot headshot potential, at least within a fairly short range. I really do enjoy those as sort of like a skill weapon for a secondary where it's high risk, high reward. If you hit that headshot, you get an insta kill. If you miss, you've got a really slow fire rate, so you're probably gonna die. But that's it as far as the unique weapons they've outlined. And once again, pretty disappointing. That's not a very great quantity of weapons, 2 at launch, 1 mid-season, and a melee weapon, I guess you can throw in there. So pretty lackluster when it comes to the quantity at least, although I'm happy to finally see a revolver, and it's nice to see an LMG in the mix as well. After that though, let's talk about weapon mods for existing guns in the game. And unfortunately, there's only 2 coming throughout the season, at least 2 that they've outlined. The first one is going to be there at launch in the Battle Pass, and this is the Skull Splitter mod for the 9mm PM. So with this, it's a barrel attachment that greatly increases damage, especially to the head, but it reduces your rate of fire. And you can pair this with a special extended magazine that goes along with this mod that will give the operator additional ammo, but that will come at the expense of handling. So it's actually kind of like a 2-in-1 mod, but the barrel is the main part of this. And as I was just saying with my hopes for the revolver, this is likely going to have a one-shot headshot potential if I had to guess. Then the other mod we're going to be getting in season is for the PPSH, and this is the Helical magazine. And they just described this as a high ammo count magazine that excels at spraying bullets at close and medium ranges. They didn't give us an exact capacity on this, but perhaps this will make me at least a little bit less salty that the drum mag on this isn't the typical 71 round drum mag that we expect with the PPSH. And like I said, that's it when it comes to weapon mods. Typically we get 4 weapon mods, and honestly, I thought 4 was a pretty lackluster amount, especially compared to the previous year with Modern Warfare 3 and all the aftermarket parts we got. But it looks like it's getting even worse this time around, and we're only getting 2 of those, so a little bit frustrating. And that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover here as far as gameplay content that we can expect to see for multiplayer for Season 5 of Black Ops 6. As you can probably tell, I'm not particularly thrilled about this season. I do feel they're putting in the absolute bare minimum, or arguably not even the bare minimum for this one when it comes to the quantity of content, which is unfortunate. We are getting toward the end of the game's life cycle, so it's not completely unexpected. And the content we are getting, I'm sure it'll keep me busy for a few gaming sessions throughout the season. I'll definitely have my content coming out, breaking down the new weapons and things. But outside of that, my hype level for Black Ops 6 is at an all-time low. I've barely been playing it throughout Season 4, and from what we're seeing so far with this season, it's probably going to be about the same. I'll be shifting a lot more of my focus toward Delta Force on console, as well as the lead up to Battlefield 6, and perhaps some other games as well, alongside the usual Call of Duty content you'd expect on this channel. Of course, those are just my thoughts though, and I'd love to hear what you guys think about Season 5, based on what we know so far at least, down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.